Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to talk about a movie called Devil this time. And it's not going to be too long of a discussion here because there's not too much to say. And, if you say too much, you're going to ruin it. But Devil it's directed by John Dowdle, who did Quarantine, which I wasn't a fan of, and written by Brian Nelson, who wrote Hard Candy, which I'm a huge fan of. I think that's a great movie, and it's the first in this thing called the Night Chronicles, like a series of movies that M Night Shyamalan is having made based on like story ideas that he has, and he lets up and coming talented filmmakers make movies out of them. Really weird idea that he would be doing this, except for the fact that M Night Shyamalan hasn't had much success as a director lately in a long time. I don't get what happened to him, man. He started off with The Sixth Sense, which was incredible, and then followed it up with Unbreakable, which I thought was even better. Like, I love Unbreakable. They did Signs, which I thought was pretty good, and then you get The Village and Lady in the Water, and then he did Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's like his it's like he peaked very early on, and now he, failure, and then he's like forced to do this. He like can't get his own movies made. Um, and it's weird. This is a much better movie than his last couple films. This is an idea I think would be good enough for him to direct, but I guess I don't know the whole story behind why they're doing these Night Chronicles. I think it's a cool idea, but um, if I were him, I would have wanted to make this myself and be the director because it's a cool movie. It really is. This is like straight to video, low budget, but it's actually really good. It really is. I don't get why it went straight to video except for the fact that none of the actors in it are big names. I didn't recognize anyone in this really, but they're all pretty good, and it's really simple story. Five strangers, they're in an elevator that gets stuck in a skyscraper. It's like an express elevator. It gets stuck somewhere in the building, and you watch as they kind of freak out and panic the longer it goes on, and as the security and engineers and stuff in the building try to reach these people and figure out what's happening, and the whole time creepy stuff is happening, and one of them could be the devil, which is where the title comes in. And I don't really want to say much more than that. It's a cool premise. People stuck in an elevator. It's good for like a low budget horror. And one of them could be the devil. That's cool. It's fun to try to figure out who could be the devil. If in fact one of them is the devil, you don't know. It could be twists. This is M Night Shyamalan story, anyways. After all, but he didn't write it, but like you could see his influence. It's an M Night Shyamalan type of idea. With I will say there's a twist or two, and that's it. It's people stuck in an elevator, freaking out, starting to suspect each other of doing weird stuff, and people in the building trying to figure out what's going on. It's short. It's entertaining. It's well acted, despite not knowing who the actors are. Really, only a few things I didn't like. When a lot of the horror or whatever happens, it happens when the lights flicker off in the elevator and then they turn back on and something fucked up happened. You know, like for instance, early on, the lights go off for a second and they come back on, and this girl has she's bleeding on her back, and she has a cut that looks like some bites, and then they become suspicious of one guy who has blood on him. It's like that. That's how it goes and kind of progresses from there. Um, I liked it. I really did. I thought it had a solid ending. I thought it had a good twist to the ending. Better than the last couple twists you'd see from M. Night Shyamalan. Like I kind of put this twist up there with with Unbreakable, where it just kind of fits. You know, everything kind of fits. Um, the only things I didn't really like is it had like I don't like that most of the stuff happens when the lights go out, but that's the only way for you to not be sure of who's the bad guy here or what, you know. So I guess I can't even really complain about that. Probably the only thing that I didn't really like about it is there's this voiceover like narration that happens, you know, every so often in the movie, kind of guiding us along with the story about. It's basically one of the security guys in the building telling us about how his mom used to tell him stories about the devil. It's kind of like to guide us along, but I'm usually not a fan of voiceover. It just seems lazy, and it definitely feels lazy here, and just unnecessary. Like I could have figured, you know, everyone could have figured out what's going on without this guy, you know, narrating. I mean, it does lead to one cool line at the end, and that's it. That's the only thing. It leads to like you know, gives us a nice little final line, final thought. I still think it's unnecessary though. There's a way around it. That's the only thing about the movie. Like otherwise, I really I enjoyed this, man. I gotta be honest. Um, I don't know what to say about it. It's a cool premise. It's short. It's fun. It keeps you guessing, and it has a cool twist. Which, you know, don't you wish the last few M Night Shyamalan movies had that? I don't think the directing by what's his name, the guy that did Quarantine, by John Dowdle is that great. But I think the script by Brian Nelson is pretty good, and he's good at at writing. I think he's like a playwright. You think of Hard Candy, it's like the type of stuff that's built for a play. This movie could easily be a play. It's mostly in an elevator, and so you got to keep the dialogue interesting. And it's not like real witty or anything. It's just it sounds like real people talking and the way they might turn on each other and stuff. It's not showy or anything. It's just a solid. I think it's a solid script, solid twist. I don't know what else to say about it. I think it was a fun, low budget horror movie that honestly I think deserved a theatrical release. I think people would dig it. I think you would dig it. So check out Devil, available on DVD. Honestly, it's worth it. I give it. I almost want to go higher, but I'm just gonna give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a solid rental. I think you know you'll enjoy it. So let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.